The 2024 World Series did not get off to a good start for the Yankees as they fell out in Los Angeles, dropping Game 1 to the Dodgers in extra innings 6-3. So let's recap Game 1 and also preview Game 2. We're going to do it with a host from Latino Sports. His name is Hector Beauchamp, and he joins me now. Hector, what's going on? How are you feeling after this heartbreaking loss?
An emotional roller coaster. I'm still alive. I'm still here kicking, but I look forward to getting into the conversation. I know some Yankee fans, it's tipsy-turvy in Yankee universe after game one, especially with that heartbreaking loss and extra innings. But you know what? We got to bounce back. In 2009, the Yankees lost game one to the Phillies. So Yankee fans, always remember, there's still hope.
All right, there is still hope. It is not over. It is a 7-game series, not a 1-game elimination. So, Hector, as you said, heartbreaking loss for Yankees fans. Freddie Freeman, he acted like he was playing the Mets when he did his walk-off grand slam in the 10th inning. Mets fans know a lot about that pain from Freddie Freeman, and there's a lot of talk from baseball fans about who is to blame for this Game 1 loss where the Yankees were an out away from a 1-0 lead. So my question to you is, why did the Yankees lose Game 1, and who's to blame for this L?
There's a lot of fingers that you could point. You know, you could blame Aaron Judge not coming up in Crusoe's situation, Aaron Boone and his managing of the bullpen. My one thing I just want to point out too is when you're in the postseason, you have to play flawless defense, right? You have to play flawless baseball from the first inning into the last inning, right? And what the Yankees did last night towards extra innings. Oswaldo Cabrera, I love him so much, but he has to take some blame on not being able to fill that ground ball, at least get one out. And then on top of it, you look at the Garrett Cole decision, not letting him go out there in the 7th inning, bringing in Nestor Cortez. There's a lot to blame, but when it all comes down, why wasn't Garrett Cole in the game? And I know we'll get into other topics, but that's my number one priority.
Well, I want to get into that, Hector, because when you look at the loss and you look at how Garrett Cole pitched, right? Is this loss more disappointing for Yankees fans considering that their ace, Garrett Cole, did his job, right, with a strong performance in Game 1? And that's part of my question, but also did Aaron Boone make the right decision pulling Cole after 88 pitches?
I've been saying it all week, you know, having this conversation. When it comes to the Garrett Cole starts and when it comes to the series against the Dodgers, if the Yankees want to win a 7-game series with the Dodgers, you have to win every game that Garrett Cole goes out there and pitches, right? He was able to get us through 6 innings. He was looking like the ace that he is, Garrett Cole, our $300 million man. And to not see him come out for that 7th inning was a bit of a head scratcher, especially when you see he only had 88 pitches, right? He's our $300 million horse, our ace for a reason. I understand he was battling injuries this season. His stamina may not be what they may have wanted to be from years past, but when you look at it, Garrett Cole should have been out there in that 7th inning. I say it just like I say with Aaron Judge. If we're going to live by Garrett Cole, if Garrett Cole gives up the lead, so be it. But if you're Aaron Boone, you're in a tough situation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You just had a week off or several days off, so your bullpen is rested. And he wanted to steal that win in LA for Game 1. He just got a little bit trigger happy, relying on some bullpen arms that I would have stayed from, specifically Clay Holmes, Nestor Cortez, some other options. But when you look at it, Garrett Cole should have been out there for that 7th inning.
All right, so you think Garrett Cole should have pitched beyond the 6th inning. Now, you also mentioned Aaron Judge. We have to talk about it. Numbers not good this postseason. 6 for 36,
No.
16 strikeouts. Are you concerned that the Bronx Bombers can't win this series if the captain doesn't step up here on the biggest stage?
That's why I started it by saying you could blame everyone you want. You could second guess Aaron Boone. You could say Garrett Cole should have been out there. But if we have dreams of having that parade going down the canyons of Hero on 5th Avenue, the only way that's going to happen if Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. We cannot live with Aaron Judge hitting below 200, hitting below 150, and expect to win the World Series. When it comes down to it, I know George Steinbrenner, he used to beat up on Dave Winfield. But Dave Winfield in the 1981 World Series, he hit 0-45 against the Dodgers. Right now, that's the trajectory that Aaron Judge has. He only had 1 hit. He had 3 strikeouts. He was 1 for 5 in yesterday's game. We need Aaron Judge to be the best version of himself if we want to win this series.
Yeah, the Yankees have not seen the MVP version of Aaron Judge, and they're hoping that he can show out in Game 2 and beyond. Now, moving on to Game 2, Carlos Rodon.
Just want to say, John,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to add that Giancarlo Stanton, he's been Mr. October so far. And I hate to say this about Aaron Judge. He's looking like Mr. July, Mr. June, right? And I hate to say this, because Aaron Judge has been a big part of our lineup, of our team for the past few years, ever since he came up through our system. But we need Aaron Judge to be the best version of himself. Sorry about that, Dex.
No, it's okay. And I understand where Yankee fans are coming from that, right? Because they're waiting for him to break through in this. And we've seen other great players in baseball struggle before through the postseason, right, Hector? And then they eventually break through. However, the Yankee fan right now is like, look, we need you to break through like right now, like now in
Big
game
time.
two. I mean there. So I completely understand that. Right now, speaking of game two, just wanted to move on there because Carlos Rodon, he takes the hill against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. What will you be keeping your eye on in this game in terms of how Rodon attacks the Dodgers lineup and also how the Yankees lineup attacks Yamamoto?
To see how Carlos Rodon does with the extra rest. We saw it in Kansas City when he was facing the Royals and that first time going through in game two. He had a little bit of extra rest, a little bit of umph in that fastball, but his energy was zapped after the third inning. He wasn't able to be as dominant as he was early in the game. When it comes to Carlos Rodon, it's all about his composure on the mound. What version are you going to get from Carlos Rodon? Are you going to get Mr. Jekyll or are you going to get Mr. Hyde? And after Garrett Cole, after we lost game one, we definitely need Carlos Rodon to step up and get us back on course and get a victory in that. We can't come back to New York down 2-0. I know a lot of Yankee fans, they want to point at 1996, but it's very important for this team's momentum that we get this win in LA to come back to flip the series in our favor.
I think for the Yankees and their fans, the job would have been to go out to LA, at least get a split, right? But I understand that for some of the Yankee fans, it's very doom and gloom after game one. But here we like to try to provide a little bit of hope. I want to provide some hope for the people, Hector, right? So since the wild card era began in 1995, the team that's won game one, they've gone on to win 23 out of 29 times in the World Series. That's just under 80%. Sorry, that's overall for the playoffs. But now the last two times the Yanks and Dodgers faced off in the World Series, the eventual winner lost the first two games, still recovered. So there's hope. There's hope here. Hector, what is it going to take for this Yankees team to bounce back and dump the Dodgers in this series? Because as you said, it's not over. It's one game. It's not single elimination. What's it going to take for them to bounce back and win this series?
Flawless baseball from the first pitch into the last pitch. You have to make every out. There was a sequence late in the game when Tommy Edman, he made a phenomenal play up the middle, stopping the Yankees from scoring an extra run, which would have been the difference maker. And in that extra inning, Oswaldo Cabrera booted the ball. He wasn't able to get one out. And then you saw what happened when Freddie Freeman came up. When you look back on both series against the Royals and against the Cleveland Guardians, on both series, the Yankees capitalized on the Guardians' mistakes. And last night's game, that's what the Dodgers did to the Yankees. They capitalized on our mistake, and it hurt us in a big way. So it takes us, especially in the postseason, like I said earlier before, you have to play your best version of baseball, and that's defense, and that's pitching. Shout out to Jazz Chisholm. He got on base. Most Yankee fans was beating up on Jazz Chisholm in the last round. His speed plays. We could have stole one, but then again, the Dodgers, you got to give credit to them because they're a phenomenal team. When it comes to Freddie Freeman, I got a stat because analytics is something that the Yankees front office loves to rely on. When you look at Freddie Freeman against left-handed pitching, this is something that's been blown up on Twitter. With the bases loaded over the past 2 years, Freddie Freeman is hitting .643. That's 9 for 14 with 4 home runs. So if the Yankees, who are a team that is strong on analytics, if you like the matchups and you saw the numbers between Nestor Cortez and Shohei Ohtani, why didn't you see those numbers when it comes to Freddie Freeman's stats with the bases loaded?
Fair question. Fair point. We'll see if the analytics play a factor in game two. We'll see if the Yankees are able to bounce back in game two going down on Saturday night as they will try to even the World Series against the Dodgers. That is my guy, Hector Beauchamp of Latino Sports. Check him out there, doing a great job covering the Yankees. Hector, I like the positivity. Keep it up, and we will talk after game two, man.
Keep hope alive. Thank you, Dexter, like always.
No problem.